Today we are going to discuss about three topics related to schema markup. Why schema markup was created, what are its benefits, and how to implement it in your website. Hi, this is Aditya and welcome to Sankham Tech channel. Let's get started. Let us start with the question why. Why schema markup had to be created? So this is the central idea. There are millions and millions of websites out there in the internet. And many crawlers like Google crawlers are crawling these websites and indexing the data. But the idea is, can we link the data on one website to the data on another website and create a knowledge out of it? What do I mean by that? Let's understand it with an example. Let us suppose there is one website which is a botanical website and it contains the information about the botanical name of the tree and what kind of wood is created out of that tree. Like for example, teak wood, rosewood, something like that. And let us suppose there is another website which is a e-commerce store, a furniture shop, and it mentions that a certain kind of table is made out of certain type of wood. Okay. And let us suppose there is another website which is a chemistry blogging website which explains the atomic structure of the wood. And let us suppose there is another website, a fourth website, which is an NGO, and they have the information about what is causing the climate change, like for example the destruction of the trees, forest fires, etc. So now can we relate the data in these different websites and generate a knowledge out of it? This is how we can do. This chemistry blog says that the wood is made up of a wood molecule, let us suppose. Then there is a made-of relationship between this wooden molecule and this wooden table. And there is a made-of relationship between this wooden table to this tree because wood is made out of tree. And again there is a cause and effect relationship between the trees being destructed to the climate. Right? So like this, every information out there in the world can be related to each other and a knowledge can be generated out of it. But there is a problem in making this happen. The challenge is we have highly unstructured data. Let's take an example here also and understand it. So let us suppose this is a site A, which is a organization site, and let us suppose this person here which you are seeing is the director in this particular organization. And let us suppose this is another website which is a blogging website where you can post your cooking recipes. So in this website there might be an entry for the recipe itself and the person who has created that recipe. But is there any relationship between this person who is the director of this organization and the person who has posted the recipe here? This kind of relationship is highly difficult to establish in current environment because each website has their own way of representing the things. So it is very hard to understand an image as a person and what are those person details. Okay, because it is highly unstructured. So the idea is, how can we make it structured and how can every website follow the same standards so that we can understand the person as a person and an animal as an animal and a thing as a thing in general. With that idea, the big technology companies like Google, Yahoo, Bing, all these people came together and created this generic data structure which is schema markup. Okay, the idea is this: everything on a website is thing. It is representing something. Okay, either it is representing action or a creative work or an event or an organization. So everything is a thing. So what all could be part of a website? They have discussed and they have created the high level entities here. And for each of this entity, like for example person. So person has these attributes. Okay, maybe person will have an additional name, he will have an address, he will have an affiliation towards organization. So like this, he might have an URL also, okay, where all his details are mentioned, maybe the LinkedIn URL, maybe the Wikipedia URL, something like that. So everything in a website is considered as a thing, and there could be these many kinds of things and each thing will have certain properties. So that's the idea. So with this, how are we able to solve the problem? Let us go back. So let us suppose somehow this website owner has mentioned this person as a person and he has also mentioned what all attributes this person contains. Like for example, maybe this person is mapped to some LinkedIn URL. Okay. And similarly, this website owner also is following the same schema and same properties which this person has followed, and he has also linked this person's URL, which is LinkedIn ID, and the bot comes and it reads these two websites and it identifies that the LinkedIn URL on these two websites for this person mentioned is same. Then it can draw on the knowledge or the relationship that the same person who is the director in this organization has posted this recipe. This was possible only because each and every website is following the same schema and same properties to mention about a thing, which in this case is a person. So that is the idea. If every website is following the same pattern like this and same properties, then it will be easy for the bot to relate between the data in one website to the data in another website. So finally, all these big tech companies like Google, Bing, and Yahoo, they're expecting the website owners to put this schema markup into their websites. But why should we do it? So this lands up in a question, what is the benefit a website owner is going to get if he adds schema markup in his website? Why should we do it? So this is what the search engines are promising, rich search results. Okay, so the one thing they promises is if you add the schema markup in your website, your page will rank higher, and then the second thing you will get is these rich search results. So what do we mean by that? So let us suppose your website is a website wherein there are some news articles or some other articles. Okay, so if someone is searching for your organization name like Google bot, instead of showing the blue link like this in the Google search, they will show a nice card-like structure of all your popular articles, so that there is a higher chance of people clicking on this link and getting into your website. So they are not only promising better search ranking, but they are also promising a good click-through rate. Similarly, if you have a mention about a book in your website, then if you have added the schema markup related to the book, this is how the look and feel would be in your search results. Similarly, there could be multiple rich search results which you could get, and you can go through this link and find out all the various rich search results which you can get, the link for which I will be adding in the description too. So finally, this is a win-win situation. As a website owner, if you follow the schema markup, you are getting the good search rankings and improved click-through rate, and the bots, they are getting the knowledge. So it's a win-win situation. So this lands up to our third question as to how we can implement the schema markup in our websites. As we have already seen, we already have the schema of the things created by big tech companies. All we need to do is we should somehow be able to map these properties and these things onto the data on our website. So it's just the mapping we need to do. So the entire list of the schemas, you can go to this link and find out, and I'll be adding this link also in the description. You can follow that. Okay, so all we need to know now is how do we map these properties onto our website data. So there are two popular ways of doing it, and we will discuss those two in this video. So these are the two popular ways of representing that schema onto your website data. Okay, one way is microdata representation and another way is JSON-LD representation. Okay, if you take the example of this microdata representation, all you are doing is you are defining a scope. Okay, and what is the scope? This entire HTML body from the open to close, that is the scope of this item. And what is this item? Item type is a web page. So we are saying that the entire scope from body open to body close is of the type or a thing web page. So web page is one of the properties mentioned in this. Okay, it is a thing, and web page also has a properties like this. Okay, so we are saying here that this is a web page, and web page has some properties. What are those properties? Web page has name, web page has description, web page is being published by someone, and web page might have certain license. Okay, so these are the properties it could contain, and you are mapping each of these properties to your HTML tags. Okay, so what is the name? So you have mapped it to an HTML tag so that Google bot can understand that this is the name of this web page and this is the description of this web page. So this is one way of representing, which is called as microdata representation. As you can see in this, we are actually doing the changes within our HTML tags, which may not be best all the times, right? So there is another way of representing, which is JSON-LD representation. JSON stands for the format. You might be already knowing this is a name value pair. So this is the name, property value, property name, property value. So this format is called as JSON format, and LD stands for linked data. And linked data we have already seen. It is just the linking of data from one website to another website, and this format is enabling the bots to do that. So it is JSON-LD, okay, which is JSON linked data. So both are same. So all you do here is you are saying context and you are following the schema.org. So whatever things are mentioned as part of the schema.org, you are using them. And what is the type? Web page. And this web page type is available as part of schema.org, and this web page has a properties, as I told. So again, name, description, same properties, just the representation is different. That's it. So using these two representations, you can implement schema markup on your website. As I told, I have added this link in the description, so you can follow through this link and you can see each of these rich search results and go into it and see the actual code you need to add to get this kind of look and feel. So I highly recommend you to go to this link and explore more. If you want me to do more videos on this, please let me know your comments in the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.